Today, we're diving into a story of just immense ambition, some pretty incredible technology, and a secret energy empire in the making. You see, while the rest of the world was looking one way, two nations were quietly teaming up on a project that really could have changed the future of energy as we know it. So the grand vision was this: two major players, Australia and Japan, working together to basically corner the market on the fuel of the future, hydrogen. For Japan, a tech giant with very few natural resources, this was a clear path to energy security. And for Australia, a resource powerhouse, it was the chance to build its next great export industry. They were right on the verge of owning the whole shebang before anyone else even knew the race was on. And this wasn't just some vague idea, you know? It had a name and a massive, staggering plan: the Hydrogen Energy Supply Chain Project, or HESC for short. The goal here was to build a permanent energy corridor, locking in Australia as a top hydrogen exporter and forging an even tighter economic bond with Japan. The concept itself was, well, it was audacious. Australia, with all its vast resources, would produce hydrogen from brown coal. Yeah, that's one of the most emissions-intensive fossil fuels on the entire planet. The plan, though, was to capture the carbon emissions from this process, creating what they called a clean fuel. Japan, with all its advanced technology and massive energy demand, would then buy it. And the scale of this whole operation was just immense. It was a physical and economic bridge stretching thousands of kilometers. I mean, it was designed to connect Australian mines directly to Japanese power grids, a completely seamless flow of energy between two continents. The supply chain itself? It was a complex four-stage journey. First, you get the hydrogen from the coal. Then, you pipe it to a port for the really crucial liquefaction stage. After that, it gets loaded onto a super specialized ship for the trip. And finally, it's offloaded into storage in Japan. Every single one of those steps was a massive industrial undertaking. But, you know, to make this hydrogen highway a real thing, they first had to solve one of the absolute hardest problems in energy engineering, a problem that had basically stopped anyone from even trying this before. The problem is hydrogen itself. As a gas, it's incredibly light, and it takes up a huge amount of space. You can't just pump it into a regular old tanker and ship it across the sea. It's just not economical at all. So the solution was to make it cold. And I mean incredibly, unbelievably cold. We're talking colder than deep space. This one technological breakthrough, which was achieved by the Japanese engineering firm Kawasaki Heavy Industries, well, that was the key that unlocked the entire project. At that cryogenic temperature, something pretty amazing happens. The hydrogen gas just collapses into a liquid, and it shrinks down to 1/800th of its original volume. And just like that, shipping millions of tons of energy across the Pacific suddenly becomes possible. And the solution was this ship, the Suiso Frontier, a totally custom-built vessel engineered by Kawasaki. It's basically a giant floating thermos designed specifically to maintain that -253-degree temperature all the way to Japan. This ship was a genuine world first, the physical proof that this hydrogen highway could actually be built. So, with the technology proven and a successful pilot voyage in the books, the hydrogen empire really seemed ready to rise. I mean, the hardest part, the engineering, was done. But then, just as the project was supposed to be moving into its big commercial phase, the whole plan just hit a wall. The news sent total shockwaves through the industry. The critical trans-Pacific supply chain, the very heart of the entire project, was being cut off before it even began commercial operation. The hydrogen highway was, all of a sudden, closed for business. So, what happened? Well, depending on who you ask, you get a very different story. Kawasaki, the Japanese industrial giant, they publicly blamed delays in Australian bureaucracy. But then, Australian officials insisted it was simply a commercial choice that Japan made. And this wasn't just one disagreement about one project. Just a few days earlier, another major Japanese company, Kansai Electric Power, had pulled out of a totally different green hydrogen project in Australia. This started to look like a pattern, and it raised much bigger questions about the future of the whole partnership. The dream was clearly in trouble. So, was this a fatal blow or just a temporary setback for Australia's hydrogen ambitions? To really get that, we have to look at what's at stake here. For Australia, the stakes are absolutely enormous. This wasn't just about one project. This was about laying the foundation for a future export industry that could be worth billions, create thousands of jobs, and this is the big one, find a replacement for its declining fossil fuel exports. This whole stumble might actually be pointing to a much deeper issue. A report from the Lowy Institute suggests the two countries are now really going down different paths with their energy strategies. And this split over the future of energy is creating a major fault line in what has been a long-standing and absolutely crucial economic relationship. Okay, so let's just recap. We've seen the incredible ambition of a world-first energy supply chain. We've seen the seemingly impossible cryogenic technology that was invented to make it all happen. And then the sudden stall that has put the entire vision in doubt. And this leaves us with a really critical question. The blueprint for a hydrogen empire has been tested. The technology is proven. But with this first powerful alliance faltering, who is going to be the one to finally build it? The global race for the future of clean energy is now truly wide open. Thanks for joining this explainer.